Hello and welcome to Goose Live. I am your host, Charlie Stivers, and in today's episode, we're talking about future first and where gamification is taking us into next level technology. Our guests are very involved in the crypto community. There's two of them, and got to meet them in the Denver area. They're very well experienced, great reputations in the industry as leaders, consultants. So I am looking forward to our conversation today. And they are just publishing a new book, and we'll get to talk about that and where gamification is going to help all of us enjoy the crypto experience more. So we will be right back. And we're back. Got a little bit of an echo there. Let's see. Unmute you, Chill. Ready to fly. I'm going to introduce you guys, so give me just a moment. Okay, so we have Chill Brimer and Matt Millen. So Chill and Matt are cryptocurrency and blockchain leaders, consultants who see the future first and help others build and prepare for the coming digital economy. As co-author of Cryptocurrency Mining for Dummies, they just published Gamify or Die, Blockchain Gamification Guide. We'll dig into why gamification will be an important component for developers planning to grow their user base, community, and sustain networks of the future. One of my favorite quotes is from Chill, saying, one of the best things about working with blockchain startups and the crypto space is that we get to experience the future first. It is exciting to be a part of history and where this is all going. Matt and Chill, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love your intro.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, super excited to be here, and yeah, I'm definitely excited to talk about the gamification and, I mean, just crypto in general. That's kind of what we live and breathe. So yeah, appreciate the opportunity.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm excited to have you guys on. I had you, I guess, I don't know. I can't remember quite how we met. I think it was through Meetup in the just local Denver networking. And we hung out. Love what you guys are doing. And we're just having fun working together and getting the word out about all the cool stuff going on in crypto and blockchain.
There's an echo.
Yep. Matt,
is it coming? Where is it coming from?
Let's see. Yeah, I think Matt. Do you have a headset, Matt? Okay. All right. So, Chill, why don't you jump in a little bit about what you're excited about, a little bit about you, and how you're getting involved, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Sure. So yeah, I got involved late 2016, early 2017. I'm actually a drone girl, so my drone pilots got me involved. And Matt and I started as community organizers here in Colorado. I was initially more interested in the blockchain legislative proposals, so I was supporting the working groups. And we both were consulting on individually, and then in 2021, Matt and I already worked together for a long time before as educators and community organizers, and we joined forces. And that's when we started working with blockchain startups, and I guess the rest is history. For those of you who are new to crypto, I will say my advice is always to balance skepticism with curiosity. Ask a lot of questions, but be open-minded to learn more about this technology.
And don't take everything at face value, because sometimes it's a little, I would say the crypto industry is very good at identifying people who want to make a quick buck and then just rolling them up, and all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, where did it all go? Oh, I probably shouldn't have bought those like 50 crap coins and done all those ICOs, and like maybe, gone for something that has a bit more just history and trust behind it, which, obviously Bitcoin was the first biggest, still the biggest, first cryptocurrency and first implementation of blockchain technology. And so, I think that's a great place to start. And then, as you get more comfortable, do more research, branch out from there. And that's kind of a fairly typical path for newer people into the space. And some people just stay with Bitcoin, and that's good. That's good enough for them. They like the value prop, and some people get down into the I guess the casino, I suppose.
There's definitely that element of it, and a lot of people forget to take some profits off the table, which is pretty key too. So yeah, beyond the investment side, let's dig into like what you guys are up to, how you're adding value both to like user base. I know that's not quite your focus, but maybe we can talk a little bit of where this is all headed to maybe inspire some of our viewers to start learning, get involved, things like that. Matt, you want to kind of maybe take the lead there and kind of introduce yourself to you're a two-time author now.
Yeah, for sure. And so, okay, so a little bit about myself, and then kind of where, like a starting point for crypto people. Is that what we'll do? All right. So yeah, me, I've been in crypto 2017, early 2017, 2016. Prior to that, I had been an asset manager at a real estate investment trust, a REIT, and just flying all over the country. We were doing tax liens, and pretty lucrative, or quite lucrative actually, but not the best. At the end of the day, I didn't really feel like I was making a great contribution to society in general. I kind of just felt like a cog in the this giant machine of just turning over people's properties and foreclosing on them and kicking them out. And not that there's not we need a system for that, but yeah, it just burned me out. I didn't like that. I didn't feel like I was really contributing to the overall, I guess, society the way that I wanted to. So I was ready for a career change. And so I did what you're not supposed to do. I took all of my savings, and I put them all into Bitcoin, just kind of pretty much overnight. My friend had, previously gotten into it. He'd done pretty well. He's like, you got to check out this Bitcoin thing. And so I took it to the extreme, and put in way more than I was willing to lose. And that was right when the Winklevoss twins were trying to get an ETF passed, I think in like March of 2017 or early 2017. It got denied. The price of Bitcoin tanked from, I think, like 1,300 down to maybe 800 or 900. I panicked and then was like, okay, wow, I really need to like research this stuff and understand it. And so I kind of went on a pretty intense self-learning experience for the next 3 or 4 months. Taught myself, how to custody things, how to make transfers, what a hardware wallets are, seed phrases, kind of the basics of blockchain, and really, I just really wanted to understand it. What is this thing that I put all this money into on a whim? I need to understand what I'm doing here. And so after that, I kind of realized, boy, there's a very steep learning curve for a lot of this stuff. I was in sort of a lucky position. I could live off my savings and educate myself instead of having to work a full-time job. But not everybody has that luxury. So I started the Denver Crypto Group in the summer of 2017 to help just onboard as many people as I could into the space. And we still have the group. We do monthly meetups. We have a little. We just kind of look at different projects, and everybody sort of puts their opinion in on it from like an investment perspective. And they're always free. And it's really, the goal is to just help people get into the crypto sphere. And so that was my gig for a while. Through that, I met Chill, and like she said there, we teamed up to form Will and Reimer, which is really focused on consulting for blockchain startups. Denver Crypto Group is more for individuals and people who want to get in. I guess retail investors would be the term there. And Will and Reimer is our consulting firm for startups, and where our experiences with that is why we wrote this book. You said I was a 2-time author. I did also help write Cryptocurrency Mining for Dummies, part of the For Dummies series. You can get in Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and all that good stuff. And then I've also been an expert witness in a few court cases here in the Colorado District Courts, just regarding like cryptocurrency transactions and other things like that. So that's pretty much me. I think, to circle back to your original question there, Charlie, what for somebody new to the space, where should they start? I kind of like to point people to Bitcoin initially, and I really like Andreas Antonopoulos. I think I said his name right. He has so many awesome free resources, and I like his perspective, on Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion, but I tend to point the newer people towards him, just to kind of get what is this cryptocurrency thing? Why is it important? What is the potential of it? He does a great job of explaining that, I think. And then, from there, there's 50 million different paths you can choose to take. And that's kind of, choose your own adventure, I guess, from there.
Yeah, it's neat. I'm glad you mentioned him. One of our team members took his master's in blockchain course, and actually works for Visa payment, and is kind of combining where this is all headed, the future of payments, and he said he got a lot out of it. But it was interesting to kind of compare notes as far as having crypto experience versus book experience, and so it's been a good duo. And then Jill, why don't you talk a little bit about your history and what you've been participating in?
So originally I was supporting the Colorado blockchain legislative proposal. So we were trying at the time, this was way back, like ICO age, when if you were a startup, you had to spend like $125,000 to find a yes or no answer to a simple question like, can I do an airdrop? So we felt that was really, really unfair, and regulatory clarity was really desperately needed in the space, just like it is still the case, I guess. So I started studying protocols back then, and then we started creating educational materials with math, workshops, Udemy courses. I mean, we're all still doing that. We just recently had a course about AI as well in partnership with Microsoft and founders that we recorded, and then we regularly speak at as guest speakers at different universities. We've been in Denver, at Harvard, Yale Privacy Lab. So we always promote, we're huge, both of us align that we are both huge privacy advocates, Monero contributors. So that's kind of what we're working on. most recently, we published our book, Gamify or Die. And this book is basically, our intention is to help those who decide to come into the blockchain space and create a startup to create a foundation for success. We've seen, unfortunately, a lot of people raise funds, millions of dollars sometimes, and build first, create a minimum viable product, only to find out that the users are not interested in. And so this book and these we call it recipes that we have inside will help you to create a user profile before you build anything, so that once your MVP is out the market, then you can attract new users and just avoid those pitfalls.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And when people, I guess, non-techies hear Gamify, they think we're talking about gaming. But why don't you explain it for all of us, what gamification means to you and the value proposition it brings to technology and blockchain in this case?
Yeah, so gamification, we all love games, right? And it's very interesting that if you think about games, when you're playing a video game, for example, you're doing a very repetitive task over and over and over. So if you think about repetitive things, it should be boring, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because of the way it structures the rewards that match your inner core motivations. So this can actually be applied. I mean, I know that we wrote this for blockchain specifically, and the book is very much focused on the blockchain space and the users. But you can pretty much take these recipes and apply it to any area of your life. You can make yourself do more exercise, eat better, create a better company application, a community, build a DAO. So these recipes do apply to all areas. We just zoomed in on the blockchain space. So basically what will happen is the user will enjoy and actually have a great experience using the application, as opposed to feeling burdened or getting bored of it.
And I would add as well, really gamification is really just taking gaming elements of gaming and play, which everyone loves to play. That's a very core part of being a human, is enjoying play and having playtime. So it's taking those elements that make you enjoy play and applying them, in this case, to blockchain software development. But yeah, as Chill said, that's kind of applicable everywhere else. So it's just taking gaming elements and using them to achieve an outcome, or make something gamified, make it more fun, make it feel more playful when you're doing something that could be kind of potentially boring or not as exciting, and now it's fun. You feel like you're playing, and you've spent 100 hours at it, and you're like, where the heck did my time go? So that's the end goal, I suppose, for the guide.
Yeah, and so our newer users kind of understand, blockchain is just a network of users, and just like Facebook, Google, Amazon, they all want our user base to keep coming back for more. So gamification makes us come back and builds that stickiness where we're maybe have an incentive, or there's an entertainment value or a reward in some way. We've been missing the boat on that. Where do you kind of see some of this evolution creeping up?
Do you have a thought there, Chill? I can answer.
No.
So I guess, so where do I see it coming up? I think the biggest pain point that we've seen with a lot of the blockchain startups that we've either helped advise or consulted for is really building first, and then putting the community second, I guess, would be the the nice way to put it, where, build it and then they will come. It doesn't really work when your community is basically the backbone of your entire project, right? You want to decentralize it. You want to have decentralized governance through DAO or whatever method you want to do. The community, without participation, that project is going to be dead. You can't have a decentralized project with a weak community and expect it, I think, to be around for a long term. So it's a little bit different than, an app like Uber or Facebook. Well, Facebook, I guess, is just built on community, but stuff where, it's a good or a service and there's a very centralized control over, the design and what the direction that it's going in. The community is not as important, but when it comes to blockchain and the cryptocurrency space, community is, in our opinion, is kind of everything. And so by focusing on the community first, figuring out, profiling your end users or who you think your end users will be and who the type of people that you want to be in your community, and then designing your application to cater to them so that they'll find it exciting and engaging and achieve that stickiness that you're talking about, is really something that, in our opinion, is going to set up your project, your blockchain project or Web3 project for success in the long term. And it's something that, I think people take more of a traditional software development approach, which is, by no means is a bad thing, usually. But, if the community is going to be at the core of what you're doing, you want to focus on them first and make sure from the very early stages of the software design, you're incorporating these gamified elements that will, attract them, and just building it into the software.
Yeah,
Jill,
I would add to that. There was actually, and I don't want to name names, but I had a client, and they raised $20 million, and they were exceptionally smart people. I'm talking high frequency trading engineers that, if you know anything about engineering, it's sort of the NBA of engineering. And they had a genuine desire to build something great, and they did. And then once they launched the product, it turned out that the demographic did not have disposable income, that the user acquisition cost would have been higher than the actual margin that they would make. And also, they were just genuinely not interested. And it made me think like, okay, if you start with the blockchain gamification, you are forced to profile the users. There's no way you're going to miss these data about your users, that they don't have the disposable income or they're not interested in this. Like you're forced to sort of start with a human-centric approach, because ultimately, and this happens a lot in crypto, that we focus so much on the protocols and technology, and that we forget that at the end of the day, we are still selling to humans. Like they are going to be the users. So if it's too complex, it's overwhelming, and you're a busy nurse, you're not going to go home, make dinner for the family and then nerd out for 5 hours to learn about something. So we have to make it so easy from the beginning and so enjoyable that the user is incentivized to engage with that project or protocol or whatever.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And part of the problem I see in the industry is these developers are creating a solution in search of a problem. And
exactly.
That's kind of been, it's caused a lot of surplus of layer one blockchains, and and I think over 26,000 coins and tokens I saw on CoinMarketCap. So, that's one of the challenges in the industry too. So is it easy enough for these companies to innovate further and add that gamification element to their protocols?
Yeah, definitely. It's I think it's something where the most efficient way to do it is to start there, as like Chill said, with your by profiling your users, knowing who or not knowing who is going to use your product or your service, but if you're already have released it into the wild and maybe the DAO isn't getting enough engagement, or you're having trouble getting bug bounties filled for your code base, if you have an open source code base or things like that, all of these areas can definitely benefit from gamification. But you need to know what is motivating the people who are going to be participating or contributing, and so you have to profile them, and then in the book we have a bunch of recipes for, okay, if you have somebody who's attracted to epic meaning or calling, which is quite a few people I think in the blockchain space, they want to solve a big problem for humanity or make the world a more equitable place. So they're attracted to like vanquishing the surveillance bad guys or something like that, and so those are things that would motivate them a bit more. And so if you can kind of frame your bug bounties like they're squashing the bad guy and they're the hero, that really ties into that epic meaning and calling motivation of that user.
Yeah, interesting. Now, what are some of the other takeaways that people can expect from Gamify or Die?
So I think the biggest takeaway is obviously focus on your users first, incorporate playfulness into your software and into your project, because that will create the stickiness. People will enjoy it. They'll tell their friends about it. I think those are probably the two main takeaways. But other things we've got in there are really, it's just like the recipe basically. So if you have an NFT project, here's the types of users that are typically interested in NFTs, and here's how you can gamify or speak to their core motivations, and we provide some examples like that. So we tried to break it down, for the blockchain industry. So if you have a startup in there, I think it'll be very valuable, because we've done a pretty good job of providing some big examples. I think some great examples for that. Yeah.
Hey, and in case you can't hear, Matt, I think one of your kiddos is up.
Yep, she's going down for her nap here pretty hard. I'll give her a few minutes here and see if she settles or not. I may have to just take a quick break, but anyway.
Problem. Hey, and that's part of going live, and stuff like this happens. So that's the beauty of this industry. You get to work from home or remotes, and sometimes it's from the beach, but sometimes it's the next
over nap time
over from our kids. Exactly. So no problem there. And then Chilled, what I don't know, what within the book, did you guys have this kind of any kind of this masculine, feminine kind of aspect to building this out? Because it's really interesting in crypto, where it's very diverse, but there are less women. How did you guys kind of play off of each other for the book?
Oh, well, Matt and I hit business partner jackpot first. I will say that because we have very identical values, but complementary skills. So it's sort of like there's this silent consensus that we know when we need to back off and who's doing what, and we play off of each other's strengths. So yeah, we were both working a lot with gamification, so we sort of gathered the ideas. We went through. We wanted to respect. That's why you see it's a pretty short book, because we wanted to respect the reader's time. We actually wanted to give the secret sauce, the recipe, so you can implement it for yourself. Gamification has two components. One is science-based a little bit, because you can apply these recipes. And the second one is more of the art of gamification, which is up to your creativity. And so we try to give tips, but ultimately that's going to be up to you to make it fun for the users. And you also mentioned earlier, which I wanted to comment on, that we have all these tokens. And I want to kind of plug in Thunderbolt here, because one of the reasons I'm so excited about Lightning Network is because it has sets. And because when a company builds a new product, let's say a Lightning app, they are no longer zoomed in on how let's create a token, what should be the token economics, token. They are actually focusing on the application, focusing on what are we building here. And sort of the token part is already taken care of. And I really love that, because I feel like we have so many tokens and nobody's going to use 10,000 different tokens. No user wakes up like, let me download 55 more wallets today. That's my goal. So I would love to see blockchain entrepreneurs think about the user more and like try to not burden the user, but rather enrich their life and provide real solutions.
Yeah, and for our viewers, what's interesting about how blockchain technology works is people can build on top of these other existing protocols, which are just applications, or in this case, a decentralized application. So I just kind of wanted to fill in some gaps there. And like you said, there's not a lot of, a big need for another token or coin. So let me check here. Just seeing if we had some comments from the audience. So let's jump into a little bit more of Lightning Network and where you guys are going with that with Thunder.build.
Yeah. So just, I think, full disclosure, Will and Reimer, our blockchain consulting firm, is blockchain agnostic. We'll work with anybody on any chain who needs help. We may recommend specific blockchains, layer ones, but we are blockchain agnostic when it comes to Will and Reimer. With that being said, we have some great friends in the Bitcoin community who recently told us basically, now that Taproot has been out for a little bit, there's a bit more possibility of programmability within the Bitcoin ecosystem, and there's basically like it's time to take another look. Like you guys make sure you're aware of this, or it's on your radar. And so that was really our point of like, oh, interesting, we got to check this out. And as Chill and I were diving more into it, we realized there's a pretty large, severe shortage of developers who can actually build on this. We had a few clients who are like, hey, I want to build within the Bitcoin ecosystem, whether that's side chains or layer twos. There's Stacks, there's RSK, there's Lightning, Liquid. There's quite a few. There's RGB. There's options there. And so we started looking into this, and we found someone who could, perform the work for the client. But then we were like, we like to have a backup. We like to have redundancy, and we could not really find anybody to back it up. And we're looking, we're like, there's just not a ton of developers who are really proficient at this, to support this kind of new possibility of programmability within Bitcoin. And so we were like, well, we're problem solvers. What can we do to solve this problem? Let's do Thunderbuild and have, a Bitcoin only hackathon with the goal of, giving prizes out to people who are kind of just starting maybe their blockchain development careers. So a lot of students or people who are maybe have developer experience in other areas, but maybe not specifically within the Bitcoin ecosystem. Let's give them some prizes, see what they can build, have a cool event, and make sure we have a lot of support and training and workshops for them, since they're kind of coming from just getting into the space. I know I threw a lot of words out there like layer twos and side chains, and dropped a few names that may have gone over people's heads, but I mean, really, yeah, like you said, the layer one is kind of that base layer. That's where the best security is, but that's also where usually the slowest amount of transactions per second occurs. And then you have things that are built on top of it that offer some advantages that the layer one may not, because the layer one, you just want it to be nice and secure and safe and boring, and you go with the layer two or a side chain, you can increase the transactions per second, or you can, offer programmability where you can, run software on it, basically run code on it versus, just moving numbers around in a ledger, which is essentially what Bitcoin really does. So yeah, that's, and I'm sure Chill has way more to, she's our marketing guru, so I'm sure she has more to say about Thunderbuild there as well.
Yeah, go for it, Chill.
No, we do have actually. So we are starting a workshop. So we have over 130 developers signed up already. And I really haven't even advertised it much. We starting a workshop for them with in collaboration with Santos from Zebedee, which is Lightning Gaming, and Carr from Pleb Lab in Austin, Texas, who they are doing some amazing job, and they're organizing TapConf in Atlanta in September. We are trying to do some workshops online for anyone who's trying to get into Lightning development, wants to learn more. Computer science students who want to participate are all welcome. They should reach out to me so I can sign them up. We have some amazing speakers. If anyone goes to thunderbuild.com, we have amazing lineup of speakers. We have Caitlin supporting us. We have Ron Stoner, who does seed signer workshops here in Denver. We have Lisa, or Niftine, as people know her. Devrick, Santos, Hunter from RGB Protocol, which is, again, a very, very exciting protocol. He just done a presentation for us at the Lightning Meetup. Yeah. So a lot going on. We are really excited. What got me super excited about the whole Lightning space was some of these application Lightning apps, where it's basically, if you're new to this, it's a marriage between the payment network and the application at the point of download. So the moment you download it, you already have basically a bank account merged into it. And it has a global use. It's instant. It's super fast. It's cheap to send. Some of them would be like Vida.live, where you can live stream, let's say, a Shakira concert. And then if I start to watch it, I pay per minute. Lightning can stream the payment. So it's a new paradigm in my mind, and I can't wait to have all my apps Lightning integrated.
Yeah, I just referred another Lightning user. I think he's only been in since January, but just, also with his tech background, he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what they're doing here. And he was using Vida.live even for messaging. And that's a pretty fascinating how they're token gating it basically with sats, but it has so many more applications. So anyway, I only know him as Alpha Kilo. So if he RSVPs, that's him out of New Mexico.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm hopefully just another person we get to meet in real life. And that's the fun part of all this, when we all get to come together. So I appreciate you guys hosting this, and we're excited for it. So just to clarify though, is it thunder.build or thunderbuild.com?
Thunder.build. That's, yep. Not .com, .build. Yep. Thunder.build. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. And then I just spaced her name, but the lady who's the big crypto bank person.
Caitlin Long.
Thank you. Jeez.
Yeah, no worries. And what is it? Custodia Chill is her.
Custodia Bank, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
She's fighting. I have so much respect for her. She's basically the crypto first lady in my book. She's fighting against the entire country in Washington, because I'm not sure those who follow her master account for Custodia Bank, which is 100% reserve hybrid bank that supports both crypto and fiat.
1-to-1 ratio.
Yes, 1-to-1 ratio. So basically, banking done right was declined by the Federal Reserve. So, the courage that lady has, it's incredible to me. And many people don't realize, but also because of her, the U.S. is still relevant in terms of crypto market, because she was the first person to pulled together the Wyoming legislators, and they passed, I think, over 20 pro-blockchain legislation at this point. But like, she was the one who initiated and got them together and started the Wyo Hackathon.
And that's been kind of a blueprint for other state. I mean, I know when we were doing the blockchain, what was it, the Blockchain Legislative Council or whatever under Hickenlooper, and then Polis continued it. There was definitely quite a bit of the work that had been done by her and the Wyoming legislators that, you know, helped jumpstart or helped us kind of get ahead and save some time. And, you know, the Federal Reserve, I think, did deny that, but the fight is not over. She's still, you know, moving forward with it and has, I think, a clear path towards making it a reality, Custodia reality. But yeah, a bit of a setback.
Yeah, my theory is that the Federal Reserve is not ready to pull back the curtain yet on how messed up fractionalized banking really is. Because, I mean, that's what basically was the huge house of cards that came down after the 2007-8 banking crash, which is why Bitcoin was started by Satoshi Nakamoto. And it's still very fragile. I mean, we already saw the bank run, the digital bank run, beginning of this year, and you know, with her model, it's how, like you said, banking should be built.
Yeah. I mean, it's you got to protect people's savings. It can't be loaning them out to 20 different places and, you know, being risky with it. In my opinion. But yeah, I was also interesting. I thought when was it Silvergate or Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate, and one other one went under, Bitcoin had a pretty quick rally as people were like, oh, it's happening. The thing all this like crazy crypto people were talking about, you know, the banking system's coming down, like, holy smokes, they were right. Everybody was starting to buy it. And then, you know, the Fed, and they did the damage control, and they got ahead of it and pumped the news cycle. And so kind of headed it off, and there weren't too many other foreclosures. So things calmed down a bit, but I think it was a bit of a taste of things to come, because, yeah, I mean, we don't need it. It's a discussion for a different day, but yeah, the way that the interest rates and other things I think are affecting those reserves of those banks is a pretty interesting thing to look into if you want to know what might be coming down the pipeline. So, yep. Anyway.
Yeah, the irony there is pretty fascinating when these institutions and investors are thinking of Bitcoin as a safe haven asset as opposed to the dollar.
Yeah, we always need a mini disaster to escape big ones. Like before the 2020 printing happened, Matt and I were doing a bunch of educational events and always trying to explain how money works. And oh my God, it was exhausting. And then when the money printing happened, suddenly nationwide, everybody understood why Bitcoin matters. And we didn't have to explain it anymore. And the same thing is happening with surveillance. You know, people don't understand the extent to which they are surveilled. So, which is why Monero and privacy technology in general, Graphene OS, secure devices are important. And again, we need this mini disaster to happen for people to understand just how much they are surveilled and how their behavior is going to be controlled through technology.
Yeah, are you guys keeping pace on the FedNow, FedCoin, digital dollar?
WorldCoin.
CBDCs, all that stuff?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, those are, yeah, the WorldCoin is concerning, but so is FedCoin, and yeah.
Yeah, WorldCoin, I just heard today that that's actually been out like, 3 years, and then now with AI, I guess and they did mainnet and the orbs launch and all that.
The orbs, yeah, the orbs are going to be floating through your neighborhood soon. You're going to have to go outside and scan your face.
That's my Halloween costume.
Or they foreclose on you. That's your Halloween. That's a very scary one.
I'm an Orby.
The WorldCoin orb. I love that. But no, I mean, take it back to the CBDCs. I mean, that's basically just a way to surveil your money. I mean, they'll have granular data on everything you're purchasing, and I mean, it's going to be. It just takes. It's a lack of trust. And in my opinion, it's like the government saying, "We don't trust you anymore. We don't trust you to do the right thing. We're going to treat you like a little baby and watch every single little thing that you're doing when it comes to your money to make sure that we're collecting our pound of flesh when it comes time to pay your taxes." And I anyway. Yeah, or get a vaccine, or do this, or do that, and just a easier. I mean, if you can control someone's finances, you have quite a bit of control over them.
Yeah, my theory is, they'll probably do some kind of airdrop, so to speak. Like they did with COVID, a little free money handout. Here's $500 in the digital dollar. Go stimulate the economy and install this wallet on your phone while you're at it.
Mm. Yeah, and it's all being connected. Twitter is working on the ID verification, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be forced. So we are building a layer 2 on top of the driver's license password ID, a layer 2, which is social media, that will be connected. So our free speech, our shopping habits, our traveling habits, everything will be connected. And so AI can make instant decisions when you basically do a loan application or a job application or want a mortgage or something. They will rate your behavior as a social credit score, and they can make instant decisions on whether or not to deny you or approve you.
Pretty scary. And so we got a few minutes left. Any other last things that we might have overlooked that comes to mind that you want to share with the audience?
Chill, did you have something?
I mean, no, just if you're new to this, start learning. Start learning about, I mean, the two specific areas to me is privacy and just
finance.
Just Bitcoin and the Lightning technology. That's really fascinating. Start learning, and then before you do anything, don't invest any money because it's a pretty steep learning curve.
Yep. There's a lot of sharks out there in the crypto world, I think it's fair to say, and if you're flashing money around and you're new to the space, you're gonna get a lot of unwanted attention. So it's better to keep your head down, learn, educate, like Chill said, keep an open mind, but also be, questioning and not accepting things just because, you heard someone you think you like said that this was true. But you got to test the waters, and there's a learning curve. And I tell people, helping them do their first cryptocurrency transactions, it can be kind of a nerve-wracking thing. You're trying to send Bitcoin or crypto from this wallet to an exchange or somewhere else, and it's very nerve-wracking because if you do it wrong, people are like, it's just gone. And if you send it to the wrong address, like it is gone. It's like handing someone a briefcase full of cash. Once they have that cash, it's theirs. And you might be able to ask them to give it back, but with crypto, it's just a random string of numbers and letters, so it's a little bit more difficult. And so just chalk it up to a learning curve. Don't put in more than you can afford to lose, but do something, take some action, and don't be afraid to send $10 into a black hole if you're trying to learn it and want to build your confidence. And like anything, practicing what you want to do and you want to get good at is the best way to master it and get a good understanding of it. So really, just you make the effort. And I think it's something that it's still early. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's been out for more than a decade now. It's too late, and there's all these coins that have been mined and blah blah blah. No, it's still so early. Like, no, we haven't hit that. Inflection point, I think, where people are fearful of the legacy financial system not serving them the way that they want to be served. And every time that happens, cryptocurrency just jumps up enormously in popularity and adoption. And so, if you believe that the fiat banking system and the system that we've got is going to continue working perfectly well with no hiccups for the next 50 years, then crypto may not be for you. But if you don't think that, you think there's even a small chance that things might go south, you should at least have a bit of knowledge about it, and maybe some sort of plan to not get left out when everybody when that day comes and everybody's kind of FOMOing in.
Or
So
you're forced to go in.
Yeah, or you're forced to go in. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that and the privacy thing too. I mean, oh my gosh, it's just everything is just saved and used against you. All of your data is just not yours, and it's this bizarre thing where, like, I mean, if you build something in the real world, right? You build a birdhouse or something like that. That physical item is yours. You purchased that. You created it. The only reason that birdhouse exists is because you decided to build it. Somebody can't just take that from you and sell it to someone else, because that's just not how it works. But that's exactly what happens with our data. That personal data would not exist without you being online and sending emails and browsing websites, but you have no say in what happens to it. And a lot of times it's run through a psychologically kind of manipulative algorithm that figures out kind of like the gamification that we're talking about. What are your core motivations? How can we sell you more ads? How can we trap you on our app more? Things like that. So, surveillance and finance, I think digital surveillance, digital finance are going to be the two biggest areas I see in the next 10 or 20 years for people to just be aware of, because we got to, things are changing, and we got to make sure we make the right choice and keep ourselves on the right path, or it can get real dystopian real quick. But all right, I'll get off my soapbox.
Yeah, one of the areas that I think is going to be interesting is actually gaming, where the hope is we don't get too tied up in the whole NFT and the token thing, but we still make it fun, entertaining. A huge community that is engaging and competing and having fun. So if blockchain and crypto can nail that, I think we're going to see huge growth in that. But it's tough to take traditional gamers away from what they enjoy already.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's a generational opportunity to really point ourselves in a better direction, and there's a lot of change happening, and if we're willing to put in the work and kind of put our foot down, we have a chance to change things for the better, and for many future generations. And I just hope that's a big motivation of, I think, what I do and what Chill does, is trying to get people to just care about it. Just care about that stuff, because it's fun. You're gaming, you're enjoying it. Why would I change anything? Why would I have potentially less fun? I really enjoy what I'm doing, and people don't want to get outside their comfort zone. But I mean, if you have that approach, eventually you're going to be forced to. You can do it voluntarily, and it's not as bad, or you can wait until you're forced to, and then it's a lot more stressful, in my opinion.
Yep. And you miss out on a lot of opportunity in general. Yeah. And then Chill, one of the things that originally connected us was women's leadership. From your perspective, like, what are you seeing as far as other women's leadership or areas of opportunity for current users, leaders getting involved in the space?
Oh, I see so many more leaders, female leaders in the industry. And interestingly, I always say, yes, there are less female leaders, but if you look at them and study them, majority of them are contributing in a very, very major way. So while you may have us less in numbers, in terms of impact, there's quite a bit of work being done, especially in the Lightning space these days. A lot of Lightning engineers. I mean, Lisa Nifty, she's doing an amazing job educating people with Base 58. She offered our hackers free courses of the Lightning development, which is like $500, $600 just one. And she offered them free courses. this lady is I feel like she's, first of all, she's so gifted the way she's teaching. And I feel like she was born to teach lightning. And then on top of that, she has the biggest heart and she wants to help everybody. So a lot of developers are coming into this space. You know, you have Caitlin, you have Elizabeth. So it's just a lot of amazing people. I think for women, don't be afraid. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. A lot of women look at technology like, that's complicated. But you know, it's like Matt said earlier, just keep trying. I mean, if you're gonna lose $10 and learn a lesson, it was worth it. So, I think I want to see more women, because when women come in, privacy will become even more important. I think so, because we naturally are very concerned with safety. We all had creeps in our lives, so we do not want to be surveilled. And I feel like as soon as you see an increase in women, you're going to see an increase in privacy technology adoption.
Nice. Well, thank you guys for coming on Goose Live today and helping all of us prepare for the coming digital economy. If you see value in what they're doing, check out their websites and go on to Amazon and pick up Gamify or Die. And we will catch you all next week on Goose Live, noon Mountain Time on Thursdays. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Charlie. This is fun.